Welcome back to the female reproductive system. Now we are going to talk about ovarian structures in detail. So, besides the background stroma of the ovary, which is green in this photomicrograph, the ovary has millions of what are called follicles. And a follicle is an oocyte, which is surrounded by cells that for this course, we're just going to call follicular cells, which support it. Yeah, they have a real name, but we don't need to know the name for human biology. So here is an oocyte. This is its nucleus in the middle, and this is the oocyte. This is quite a large oocyte. In other follicles, you can see that the oocytes can be quite small. And then these brown cells surrounding them, these are the follicular cells. Now, as you can see on this photo, we have follicles in many phases of development all at the same time. So we have some very tiny ones here where you can see that the oocyte is very tiny. And when we look, the follicular cell, like there might be one layer of very flat cells right here. And then here, maybe we have a layer of cuboidal cells with a very small oocyte. Here's a larger oocyte, and we still have a layer of cuboidal cells. Here, the cuboidal cells are bigger and the oocyte is larger. Here's a larger oocyte with bigger cuboidal cells. Here we have two layers of follicular cells. And then over here, we have multiple layers of follicular cells. So as the follicle develops, the size of the follicular cells increases as well as number of layers of cells increase. And the oocyte itself will increase in size. So unlike what is shown in drawings, which shows like here's a small follicle and then it's going to go usually in a clockwise direction, and you see one follicle going around in a circle through the stages, and you think that's what's happening in 1 month. As you can see from the previous slide, we have many follicles all in various stages, all at the same size. And wherever that follicle is located, that is its location. Okay, so if it is small in this location, this is where it's going to develop. It's not going to go around and move someplace else in the ovary to develop. All right. So how are the follicles are going to develop? Well, at the beginning of this cycle, we're going to have higher levels of follicle stimulating hormone, which is going to start promoting the development. And so you're going to start increasing the number of layers of follicular cells. So there's a lot of physiology involved, and we're going to skip a lot of it because there's feedback between different follicular cells and receptors and what's going to happen. But for this course, we're going to have an increase in the numbers and the layers of follicular cells, as you can see going on here. And all of these are pre-ovulation. And so as the follicular cells increase in size, they are going to start producing estrogen. And as the estrogen levels increase, that's going to have a negative feedback on the anterior pituitary, and that's going to be dropping your FSH level. So you need the FSH to start this process. And then after that, the follicular cells kind of take it over on its own because they have receptors on their own. Now, in addition to producing estrogen, these cells, these follicular cells, each produce a tiny amount of fluid, and a drop here and a drop here and a drop here. It all kind of joins together, and what you can see is you start getting tiny little accumulations of fluid, and all the accumulations of fluid will eventually form a little lake which separates out the follicular cells, and this fluid will form this lake which is called an antrum. And so what's going to happen is we're going to end up with follicular cells on the outside of the antrum, and then follicular cells surrounding the oocyte on the inside of the antrum. And every month, there's going to be between like 1 and 4, maybe 6 follicles that are going to start this development under the influence of FSH. And there's going to be about 1,000 of them that are going to undergo apoptosis and die. And all of these cells are containing a primary oocyte. So that primary oocyte is going to start going through meiosis 1. All right. So here is what a photomicrograph of a maturing ovarian follicle will look like. So we have these follicular cells on the outside of the follicle here. And this is the antrum, which has split some follicular cells. So you have some here which are surrounding the oocyte. So this part here is the primary oocyte with its nucleus right here. And so now you notice that between the follicular cells and the primary oocyte, there is something else. So the follicular cells that are surrounding the primary oocyte are called a corona radiata, and they are going to be ovulated with the oocyte. And think of them kind of like a bubble wrap surrounding the oocyte. So as that oocyte is tumbling around, we have these cells tumbling around, and if these cells die off, who cares? They're supposed to die off. All right. And notice how much larger this oocyte is than those follicular cells. This oocyte is huge in comparison. And now between the oocyte and the corona radiata follicular cells, we have this area called the zona pellucida, this zone, the zona pellucida, which is acellular. It's this very thick, elasticy kind of area that's protective and that the sperm is going to need to penetrate. That acrosome on the sperm's head, that's what it needs, the acrosome to get through. We'll learn how that works later on. Okay. So about 24, 48 hours before ovulation, this follicle with its huge antrum, which actually is bulging on the surface of the ovaries, really thinned out the ovarian stroma, and depending on who you're reading, we can call it a mature follicle, a vesicular follicle, a Graafian follicle. It doesn't really matter. It's a follicle that is ripe for ovulation. And what is going to happen at this point is this female has high estrogen levels, so high in her that it's going to trigger a surge of luteinizing hormone. Now, there's no magic level that I can say, when it reaches this level, that's what triggers the surge, because the level for me is different than the level for my sister or the level for my mom or the level for my cousin. Yeah. But it's a certain high level of estrogen that's going to trigger this surge. So if we look at this, here's the estrogen level. And when it reaches this level, that triggers an LH surge. So the LH surge happens about 24 hours later, and that's what causes the ovulation. Okay. And so that is what makes the oocyte finish meiosis 1 and start meiosis 2. And here's what's unique. It's not going to finish meiosis 2 before ovulation. It's going to stop and metaphase. So at ovulation, it's going to have to tear this ovarian stroma tissue. There's going to be blood. Oftentimes women can feel this, twinge or two of pain. The secondary oocyte right here in metaphase 2 is released. It has the zona pellucida surrounding it, and it has the corona radiata surrounding it. Now it's tumbling around in the peritoneal fluid, feeling the currents caused by the fimbria and the fallopian tube, looking for the inside of the fallopian tube. And this process of ovulation typically alternates from the right ovary 1 month and the left ovary the next month. Of course, if you only have one ovary, you cannot alternate. So here are pictures taken with a laparoscope showing ovulation. Just a random picture. So this is showing the huge follicle on the surface of the ovary, and here is showing the ovulation itself occurring. All right. Post-ovulation, the follicular cells that are left behind in the follicle start producing a lot of progesterone with a P in anticipation of she's going to be pregnant, she's going to be pregnant. Now they're also going to produce some estrogen, but they're really hoping for a pregnancy. Okay. And so this yellow color from the follicular cells, because this has become a steroid factory. And as you know, estrogen and progesterone are steroid hormones, and steroids are lipids, and lipids and fats are yellow in color. And so here's what an ovary will look like. And so here is a fairly recent corpus luteum. You can tell it's recent because it is bloody still from the time of ovulation. Okay. And this, if the lady was pregnant, would continue to get larger and larger and larger, because this corpus luteum will maintain the pregnancy for the first several months. And I know you're going to go, Dr. Powell, that's what the placenta is for. The placenta doesn't take over until much later. Listen to my video where I talk about early pregnancy, and I'll be telling you when that happens. So if there's no pregnancy, this will degenerate. And so here is an example of a degenerating corpus luteum. And so this takes several months. So how does the lady know to degenerate this? Well, it's looking for feedback. What it's specifically looking for is the presence of HCG, the developing embryo, well, technically the zygote, will start producing HCG, the hormone that gives a positive pregnancy test. Okay. If there's no HCG, these follicular cells in the corpus luteum are saying, like, I don't know why we're doing all this work, making all this progesterone, let's go on strike, and they'll quit producing it. Okay. And so what happens to this corpus luteum? Well, it will degenerate and becomes a white scar known as a corpus albicans. That prefix ALB means white. So it's a white fibrous scar. You can see a couple of them in this ovary. And that just shows you where there was a previous corpus luteum follicle. All right. So before you go on to the next video, take a moment, look at this picture, and talk yourself through this whole process of ovarian follicle development. Thank you once again for all your hard work, and I'll see you for the next video where we are going to be talking, female gametes, and you'll realize so much more complicated than male gametegenesis. I'll see you shortly.